of an update on the urban permaculture courtyard. I've made up some boxes for wicking beds, similar to this. So we're going to have wicking beds along here and here. At the moment we're just getting a bit of surplus stone. We'll line those, cement them up. As far as plantings and so forth, our overhead grape is starting to do its summer job of growing out and shielding this room from sunshine. Little freezer cupboard's all finished out. That's into the workshop. Gabion is doing well. It's got a little wicking bed up the top that we've got to plant again. The fox in the hen house. So we're just in a holding pattern here. We're going to put the wicking beds down this end here, but we've got our composting and worms going pretty well there. And chook gate and the puppies. This hedge is growing in really nicely, and so we've got the hedging basically going to fill out all this area here. So we'll trim that down a little bit. We've got our study deck, French doors in. Which way's Mummy?
Here, not to be videoed.
Huh.
They've destroyed the filter.
Oh yeah.
And the filter itself is clogged, so I pulled it off and now it's flowing.
Oh yeah.
But
You want it fixed?
yes, please.
Alright, so we've just done a bit of a clean up. Tamarillo's flowering at the moment. Column peach is flowering at the moment. In behind, the nash is growing. Pomegranate is filling out. And that's providing our summer shade. East, north, west. So our north sun being in southern hemisphere. And our morning sun is definitely getting shielded, so the house is covered up. These little plantings here are guavas, regrowth of parsleys, capsicums, basils, just as they happen. Chili plant down here, sages, all sorts of stuff underneath there. And we've sort of changed the purpose of this one a little bit to being a sensory garden for the puppies. So things like lavenders and so forth, parsleys, that sort of stuff. Orange in the background there, bit of bamboo or screen in here. This is our mango coming on. That's all plums. This plum passed away, so we'll eventually take that out. This is all just reseeded parsley from the plantings. Bit of succulents, that sort of stuff. All that, the apple down the end here. We're building a deck in around this area to try and control the sand from the dog digging pit. And that's our new French doors from the outside there. And that's all coming along pretty well. And another peach, again, it's a summer shield for the morning sun against the house. So when the apple grows in, the orange grows in, the mango grows in, and the bamboo grows in, we'll have a summer shade over this part of the house. And of course, the pomegranate doing very well as that right now. Yard. We've got a few things coming in as seedlings, but we've also got stuff that's coming back. In here we've got coriander and parsley that is just self-seeded. We've got some peas, mint, elderflower rather, going. I've got a bit of potash from a little fire, and then the spring plantings out here. Essentially a lot of this stuff just reseeds as it goes. We've turned this into a wicking bed just to make use of this spot and stop the dogs climbing up. So we've got things like the spinaches, we've got some strawberries coming on there, the peas, the boys love the peas. Don't know if that's dill or... It smells like dill. I think it's dill, not fennel. Yeah, so we're getting a good crop of peas off this at the moment. There'll be one here somewhere. Most of the dogs have already had breakfast this morning. There we go. There's a couple there. 1, 2. That's just giving us a regular supply of the peas. All this sort of herbs and garden bed out here. Got various natives as well. just starting to come in. Bit of ground cover. Pirate spinach. I don't know if there's another name for that. Again, all this is just re-sprouted from seed from the previous year. A lemonade, no lime, going pretty well. Got another crop of olives building up top. We've just done the hedge trim. Bottlebrush, got a lot of native birds coming through here, and they usually keep all the insects down, which is good. Plot of aloe, good for burns and all that sort of stuff. Some of our nursery up here, growing some Lilly, Pillies and olives for up at the farm. Just grabbing what's self-seeded out of the ground and putting it in pots. So that's pretty cool. And then we had a bit of wind over the weekend. So, out front, look at our grape, which is going to be training up this pole. Rosemary. On this side, we've got the bougainvillea training up. So essentially we want to have a green canopy over the top of the driveway. This is just some hedging to keep the bin area a bit cleared off. Silver dollar is doing alright, fairly consistently. I've had another crop of lupins come through, along with the nasturtiums out here. So this is kind of grown in quite nicely still. Lots of mulch on the ground. There's no water coming on this, so it's not huge. But you can see the way this is grown, that it's pretty full on. And again, more lupins. On this side, we currently have a massive crop of mulberries. We've just put some mulch in through here. We've just done all the hedges down the side and mulched it up. But again, lupins to build the soil. The California poppies are another ground cover. This one's a pecan. It's about 4 years or 5 years down the track for this pecan now, so we should start getting some seeds off that soon. Geraldton wax, that just sprung up on its own. Plenty of rosemary. The jasmine hedge is great for the smells, but like the mulberries on this thing are just massive and so juicy. We're pulling kilograms of fruit off this, and it's still just full of fruit. Oh, yum. We've got sweet potato, still as a ground cover. Over here, starting to really take hold now. That's just another thing to help keep the grass down. In the back we have ice cream bean, a native here. And what we had over the weekend, this native is a pincushion hakea, and it blew over. So I've pruned it back pretty hard, and we just chopped and dropped all of the branches from that down at the base. But I've tried to save it. I've pushed it back into the ground, and I've just sort of trimmed it back. So hopefully it's got enough roots to support that. But it will allow our lemon myrtle a chance to grow now. This was struggling before we had any plantings on the verge. It was drying out too easily, but it's now got the support of the mulberry and also the pincushion hakea to just give it a bit of shield from the sun. So we expect that'll sort of take on this year, which will be awesome. And yeah, we're about to have masses of jasmine. This is a Chinese jasmine. It's taken about 10 years to get to this level of coverage, but it's now an awesome screening plant from the road. And yeah, doing well. And we don't water this, we don't touch this, it's just whatever grows. And so the lupins keep feeding it. The lupins come from the neighbour's property and just drop down and reseed every year, so it's just continually adding nitrogen. The soil under here used to be just the Bassendean sands, but it's now got bugs and it's got all sorts of stuff in there. Lots of organics. So it's building soil nicely. And this there was just lawn before. Used to take a lot of water, a lot of fertiliser, a lot of maintenance, and do nothing for us. But we get a really good feed off this, and then the birds come in and clean up all the fruit over the coming months. And they get a really good feed, and when they come in, obviously they deposit their droppings, so we get an influx of phosphorus and all the other sorts of droppings. Bees come through, so it's, yeah, working really well. And of course this drops its leaves in winter, and we get the afternoon sun in the house to keep the house nice and warm. We've got pretty much a year-round supply of lemonades now, just constant lemonades, and also of limes. So, you know, a bit of soda water with lime or something like that, really nice. Yeah, so that's the update on the urban permaculture garden.